Hi dudes, back again. Films Presents RC, midweek mod session. For those of you who haven't seen, I've been doing the midweek mods now, a couple of weeks on and off. Basically, cheap, quick, easy mods that you can do midweek. I know everybody's busy now, I'm super busy myself with work at the moment. Always try and find time to do a little tinker during the week. Couple of minute jobs, 10-minute jobs, bit of ingenuity, some random material sometimes, as you'll see in this video, just to get the job done with various tasks or various things that I don't really like. I know some of you on MS UK forum commented on my heavy duty steel door handles that I picked up. I seem to have a fetish for using door handles in the last two builds, but they suited the job. They do the job, and that's what midweek mods is all about. It's just quick, easy stuff that you might have lying about, or that you can go and get from a DIY store that day and on your way home or what have you, and have a bit of a tinker at night on a Wednesday. Right, today, what are we doing? Now, if you follow me on MS UK forum, you'll notice that I got a Thi T5e action cam this week delivered. This obviously isn't it, this is a real treat. This is the EGL action cam that I did an unboxing video of a week or so ago. Basically, this doesn't, but you'll notice on the better cameras, anything over 50 quid really, is going to have a quarter thread, a standardised thread on the bottom of these action cams. That's so you can put it onto your body mount and you can put it onto various things on the tripod for stabilisation, basically. Take out some of the liquidity from the video. So you'll also might have seen in some of my videos in the past, I've used things like this, selfie sticks. This isn't the one that I've actually used in the past. This is a new one that I got recently with the Thi action cam. Basically, on the bashes that I've had in the past, I've found I get really good results, some really interesting footage, mounting these sticks horizontally, usually through like this or on the side of the chassis. Try and sit them in the middle. Obviously through your, I mean even on this, you've got a hole there. I usually do mount that way. What I usually use for that is carbon doweling, or the carbon tubes that you sometimes use with you know, with the foam gliders, the foamy gliders and stuff like that for the wing struts, the braces, because they're rigid. That's great, okay on a basher, because you generally go in high speed. Yes, you will have some jumps, but as long as you're kicking the revs and the brake to get yourself landing flat, it doesn't really matter if you've got, say, a long pole stuck out the back, say like that for instance. Now on a crawler, a little bit different. If you're after different camera angles, you've probably already tried sticking your cam on top of your body. Looks great when you look at it, and if you're filming it with a different camera, maybe with a waterproof case, if it's mounted, you might have seen them sometimes on the Losi 5Ts and stuff like that, mounted on the where the windscreen would be. Not great when you look back, because usually all you see is like a FPV first person view, and it does get a little boring after a while. I mean, ideally, like we would do in like you would see in a Hollywood film or a big film production, big budget film, you would see that they'll use a camera jib. Now usually what that consists of is usually triangulated, 3 pipes going out to one point where a camera is held off that car. So obviously when you turn, the camera goes with it. Makes the object that you're filming look really good, because that itself is static to where your camera is sitting, sort of facing this as a field of vision. You will be facing this rig. Now I've tried to replicate that a few times on the crawler. I did go out and get a little bit of footage. You might have seen in the Traxxas video that I just did, where I took some slow-mo shots where I forgot my memory card, like a toe. I had a straight jib going out the back. What I noticed was, you have a straight jib going out the back, it's getting hung up at the back bumper, obviously because the jib is straight. Now the solution to that is to have something that will come up and out. You've got to be careful the angle that you're filming at. If you put the pole like that and put your camera on like that, what you will find in your field of vision is when you watch it back, you can see the pole, which doesn't look great. What's the point of putting the pole on? You just want to see the car. The field of vision usually would start around here, basically where this mat is. If you imagine this mat as an invisible line, that is what you're aiming for. You don't want to catch the pole. Not great. So what we do is, much like a real gimbal, and I mean by real I mean a professional gimbal, something that somebody would wear, or handheld, you'll see them a lot. They're a hook shape or a U shape. Now that's to avoid that problem. Obviously with being a U shape, you're holding here, the handle is here, going back round or going back round this way. You will basically avoid catching that pole in view, if you will, if you see what I mean. If you're looking down like that now, you would catch that pole in view, which is not great. It can also draw focus. I know if you haven't got an autofocus lens on your action camera, it can draw focus to here and leave all this, including your rig, completely blurred. Not what you want. It doesn't look great. It puts a lot of noise on the picture and haze as well on the image, especially if you're using slow-mo at 120 frames per second and stuff like that. Doesn't look great. So let's get down to it. Threaded bar. Now this, if you notice, like I said before, if you look on your own action cam, you'll see a brass thread there about 5mm deep, 10mm deep. Now this, because it's quarter thread, obviously standardized thread. I don't know about you Yankees, because you're on imperial and not metric. You're about 30 years behind the rest of us, I think, 50 years. Basically, this thread will screw straight into the back of here. So obviously, you don't want the camera sitting like that. So at some point, we are going to have to put this on here, all the way through. I will probably go through this way, if I can get it through that way. Yes, it will take the thread that way, so that's good. So basically it will be sat obviously at a lower position than this, not like this. It will enter out at it will exit out at the same level as the chassis here. Will sit alongside the chassis rail itself. I'll come to that in a moment. Basically it will come out the back, and as we discussed here, you don't want it straight. You don't want to leave that curve too long. You don't want to start the curve here, because you're still going to have that overhang at the back that will catch. What you want to do is, there's a fine balancing act again. If you do it too short, what will happen is when you come back around on yourself, your camera will be here and you can't get to your rig. You can't see your rig in your field of vision. So what's the point? You might as well just mount it to the top of it with a standard double-sided tape GoPro mount and have done with it. Now, I found that you can get varying results if you use aluminium threaded pipe. Very lightweight, quite stiff. If you notice, there's a good old wobble on that. To cure that wobble, what you can do, obviously because you're going to do it anyway, is to put bends in. So you would bend here, 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 here. Or, how I've done it in the past, again, is to bend at an angle this way. So we're not going lateral, we're not going horizontal, we're going up at an angle, say 45 degrees. That means you can start it not too far off the bumper, a couple of inches away from the bumper. So say like, we just bend this up. Now see that there is obviously flat. If you angle, you get your angle. There's no need to try and twist, because it's not too bad to bend with your hands, but why make hard work for yourself if you don't have to? Put a bend in it, simple bend. Obviously when you zip tie to, you will need to zip tie it like that. I'll come to that again in a moment, because you can't just zip tie this. The strength needed to hold that camera weight out on that angle is significant, as you can see. You don't want that. So we'll put another kink in it here in a moment, so we can strap it to something, anything. We'll find some place to put it where we can put another, so it will go like that. Now that'll stop it when we put the zip ties on, because that is how this is mounted, is zip ties. You want to be able to take this off quick. Reason being, you might see lots of lovely great shots on other people's channels. You might see some okay decent-ish shots on mine of using camera rigs like this. The only problem is obviously it does take away from the drivability a little. You're worried about your camera, you're worried about catching it, especially more if you're bashing. If you're going 50 miles per hour with your Traxxas X Max, it's going to rip it off when it rolls. I mean, those things are, you know, £8 plus, so if it rolls it's going to rip it off. My advice is get some nice smooth footage if you're bashing with this sort of camera jib on some nice flat ground, or if you're good at landing your jumps, you've not a problem if you're experienced. Then what you can do, pop your shell off, snip snip snip, take some snips of your little Stanley knife, and then you can just take it off, use your camera to film, and it looks better because obviously then when you carry on filming, your rig's not attached, your camera rig is obviously still not attached to the car. You want some scenes that is where it's following the rig, or it looks like it's following the rig, almost like a drone shot if you will, and then obviously you can take your rig off and have some shots of it going past. That's just one trick that I've learned through post-production editing anyway. Right, I'll stop waffling on. I'm going to bend this now so we can get a good idea of where we want to be. Now, like I said, put your bend in so that can go through, sort of like this. Now you see where it's exiting out there? You can sort of shuffle that along if you will. I might put that little bend in a minute with some pliers on that piece here, so we're sat at a slight offset angle to that bend. It won't be at the same angle, at least another 45 degrees this way. Then you're going to be thinking about the back. So if you strap to the back there, if you imagine we've already zip tied. I mean, to be fair, I might just pop them on now so I can show you quickly what I'm talking about. These are obviously left over from the other one that I did. Right, now obviously that's sticking up at the moment, so you don't want it like that. Now what you're going to do is you're going to get it up like this. I don't know whether you can see there, whether I've gone out of your field of vision. Let's move this back. Whoa. Might want to eat your Weetabix before you do this. I am my Weetabix. Right, as you can see, bit of a funny shape. I know, doesn't make sense at the moment. Looks like a bit of a fangled contraption hanging off Go Gadget camera jib, but it does work. Obviously, like I said, this is only for filming some scenes. If you're compiling a video that's 3 to 4 minutes long, you're gonna want a variety of scenes. You can't just keep filming the same thing. It gets boring after 30 seconds. If anybody is on YouTube out there, which I know a lot of you are that watch my channel anyway, just like I watch yours, you'll know if you've ever looked at the analytics. For instance, I put a 6-minute video out a couple of weeks ago. Now when you go on the analytics, 350 people watched it within sort of, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. When you go on and look at the analytics, you'll see that there's a graph and it completely drops off. It drops off after, what would you think, a couple of minutes? People get bored? No, it's more like 30 seconds. Most videos that I've ever done, I know obviously some people who have more interesting content than me, more relevant content than me, won't have this issue, but I know a good majority do, 70–80%. I'm guilty of it myself. I have been on videos and I have looked at them for 30 seconds and thought, this is boring, but you know, is that a fault of the viewer? No, because I wouldn't hold it against any of my viewers if they said I got bored after 30 seconds. That's just a signal for me that I need to change up what I'm doing, which is half the reason why I do stuff like this. I do try and strive for originality, as I'm sure I know a lot of you do. You'll find after you've made your 200th video that I passed that milestone this week. It's hard, it's difficult. Yeah, I can go down to the beach, but I've only got a handful of things that I've left to do at the moment that are original that I've not already done. But yeah, I digress again. Get your camera jib. What you will do here, let me turn this way so you can see properly. Now obviously we've not bent this yet, I will need some pliers. Don't want to stop filming right now, don't want to leave you hanging. What I'll do is I'll show you quickly, is if you can see me now, obviously the thread would be on the bottom of your camera. Swivel on. Now if you notice, looking back, you will catch a little of this, but I mean this is about as discreet as you could get without putting a side mount camera on. Now side mounts, or if you're mounting off the body itself, work slightly differently. They must come under and up, whereas if you're coming out the back like this, they can go on a lateral and then up. As if you're coming out the side, you'll need to go in a U shape like that, a straight U. Now that is obviously so you catch as little as this as possible again. Once you've done that and you're all tie wrapped in, pop a couple of tie wraps in, cover it in tie wraps, it doesn't really matter, they're cheap as anything, tie wraps, aren't they? Fold that back, tie wrap it around there somewhere. Obviously I'll post a video of this, or should I say when I make a video next, tomorrow, I will show this working, and I will film it while I'm filming so you can get a good idea of obviously of what you're doing. This now, depending on obviously what field of vision you set it on, wide angle, medium or narrow angle, obviously your wide angle will probably be your best. I find wide angle, so say if you're coming off a short stick, you could mount your camera here sort of thing. You would need a wide angle, because narrow angle you'll get the whole bumper in view and you won't get any of the surroundings. You want some of the surroundings, so you want to aim for your wide angle setting. Whatever camera you're using, not going to make a difference. Put it on the wide angle. If you're doing your slow-mo, you're obviously going to set it to 120 FPS, or if you're just filming normally, you'll be filming in 4K, I'm assuming by now, 30 frames. You get your rig, you want to aim, like I said before, when we had down here, if you imagine this mat is your field of vision you want to be aiming for, so set your rig up. If you've got a pit mat, you might as well use that. Set your rig up so you can see around the field of vision. Like I said, I'll go out tomorrow and I'll post a video of this exact setup. I'll tart it up obviously, get it all affixed, and I'll post the video up, and I don't know if you want to try it yourself, give it a go. You can probably improve on this. I mean, this is just something I picked up. It was like $1.99 for this today from a hardware shop. I've done this lots of times with various things, usually aluminium rod because it doesn't weight down. That's obviously using it on high speeds and bashes and stuff like that. Last thing is, I'll post a couple of links in the description so you can see some examples of other jibs that are very similar to this that I've used in the past. A couple on the Protech Promax high speed project, which was the 1.6 brushless using the Castle 177 motor. A couple of other rigs as well. There's the Sun's BSD Granite Muncher. What else was there? The Kyosho MP777 got one as well. I used the selfie stick out the back of that, straight out the back of that. Bit of a mistake because obviously the wheelies, but it was using the stick as a wheelie bar. So yeah, quite fun. Anyway, thanks for watching guys, really appreciate it, and I really appreciate your support over the last 200 videos, as I'm sure you appreciate my support. We're all one big family on here, and if we support each other, we can all prosper. Thanks very much for your time guys. Bims out!